Yeah, great result for us. I thought I was impressed with Nevada and the way that they played. Really good basketball team. Thought that was a pretty good college basketball game. I'm sure there's things when we look at the film we would have liked to have done better and clean up, but sometimes you just kind of grind them out, and I thought our guys did a nice job of that tonight.
I want to start with Dayton's three-pointer with 2:39 or whatever it was left. He was 1 for 7 to that point, and it wasn't like late in the shot clock. You guys had a lead. Maybe he could have milked a little more clock and just did a step-back three and it went in. I'm curious if that surprised you at all and what you were thinking before you saw it go in.
Glad it went in.
Was that a shot that you were happy he took?
I'm glad he made it.
You're glad he took it now, aren't you? All right. You guys were 2 for 34 from on twos, and you hit 12 threes. So I know
12 for 34.
What did I say? Two.
Yeah, it felt like it. It felt like
at
2
times.
for 34,
It felt like 2.
Yeah.
You know that they protect the rim and they collapse defensively, but did you think it'd be that hard to get going at the rim? And did you think they'd leave you out, give you that much space on the outside, especially Jake?
Yeah, Jake started out, I think he missed like his first 4, something like that. And I told him at one of the points, I was like, man, if you keep getting those looks, like you have a big night, like just keep being aggressive. And then we talked at halftime. I think we were 4 of 17 at the half from 2. And I think maybe Uriah had a mid-range, but most of that was around the basket. And so we felt like we left some points on the board there with our ability to finish through some of the contact, and they deserve credit. Price with 6 blocks, and their ability to protect the rim is something that they deserve credit for. But we also felt like we could have done better, and I thought we wasn't where we wanted, but I thought we were better in the second half, and I thought that was a big difference.
Hey, Coach, from the Journal. 20 games in, entirely new roster. Your defense, I would think, is kind of complicated. How satisfied are you that these guys have been able to absorb everything you teach and be where you are right now?
Yeah, I think we're playing pretty good basketball right now. We feel like we can continue to get better. Like you said, we have a lot of new players, and so we feel like we're kind of getting better every time out. Nevada showed us something a little different than what we've seen with lots of off-ball actions, and so I think each experience is a learning opportunity, an improvement opportunity, and I think our guys are embracing that and understand that. I say it all the time, but like what's good enough tonight is not good enough next week or the next week. Like everybody gets better as it goes, and if you want to be one of the teams that is contending at the end and playing good basketball at the end, you have to keep improving. So I think that's the thing that we're probably the most pleased with this group is just the development, the progress, and their commitment to it.
What did you think of the throwbacks or the faux backs?
I mean, all the stuff is awesome. Honestly, this is a little warm. It got a little hot down there. I feel like I'm wearing one of those like wrestler weight loss suits where you just sweat it out. But no, it's really cool stuff, and the marketing team did a great job with all of it, and the guys enjoyed it. Hopefully, all the fans did as well.
They start the second half on that 9-0 run. And I think that's where you really start to see the impact of the crowd. And the deeper we get into the season, the more the crowd's really getting into these games, especially with the high-profile teams coming in here. But can you sense that when you're on the bench and you feel like maybe the game could get away, but the crowd helps you? Yeah, I mean, we feel the crowd start to finish. Tonight was awesome. The energy in the building was terrific. We had some guys play, some more extended minutes than maybe we normally do, and I think that energy in the building is helpful with some of that. But yeah, I think in a tough game like that, the crowd makes a big difference, and I thought they were awesome tonight.
Eric, they were double teaming Tomislav, I think, throughout the first 30 quarters of the game. Was that the main reason he was having trouble getting the ball? And then how much did it change things when you guys started draining some threes? Jake made a couple threes because it looked like you got open threes and they're going to give you those until you start making them, and then that seemed to open things up for Tomislav inside. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, I think some of that is accurate. I think we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball in advantageous situations. we felt like every time they doubled, we were getting quality shots. I thought his decision making out of it. I can remember part of the response after they took the lead was a skip one more, and Jake knocked down a big corner three. So that came from the double, and we tried to get it to him more in the second half. But I also thought like his efficiency came around the basket. Like we found him on a couple dump offs, guys. I thought our ability to drop it off improved as the game went. I remember Luke finding JT for a dunk. Tom, we had a couple in a row. Uriah, extra one dump off. Like those guys were getting layups and dunks out of the sort of the interior passing that guys did more than just straight post ups. But Tom's so impactful. Tomislav's so impactful. Whether he has it on the block or he's on the glass or he's shaping up, he's just super versatile and good player.
And his rebounding, it's like he does not let it phase him that he didn't get the ball enough inside, and he's doing what he can with the boards.
Yeah, his second jump is super quick. Like he's typically, if you're watching, when guys jump multiple times or the ball isn't squeezed on the first one, like he's back up off the ground as quick as anybody out there. And obviously his motor is impressive and does just a great job tracking the ball. So he's huge for us on the glass. 15 rebounds, seven offensive. Yeah, he's a monster.
Coach, what was the message at halftime? It seemed like the first half was it their defense. It seems like it took a little bit for the rhythm to be established for the Lobos, but the second half was a different story.
Yeah, we felt that. Slow start to both halves, but like we talked about, some of the interior finishing into drive decision making wasn't our best. We had some looks that didn't go in the first half. It did feel like it took us a minute to get to get into the game. I thought not exactly related to your question, but I thought our defensive disruption in the first half was really important and sort of allowed us to kind of stay right there by turning them over. I think they had 9 turnovers in the first half, and I thought that sort of saved us a little bit and gave us a couple extra possessions to kind of find our rhythm on offense.
Coach, you talked about those slam dunks by Buljan and JT Rock down the stretch of the second half. It seemed like you guys were getting pretty good ball penetration in the first half, but those looks weren't there. Kind of what changed to allow them to get those easy looks down the stretch?
Well, sometimes it's – honestly, I probably have to watch the film to really answer it accurately. It felt a little bit like some of the shooting spread them out more, and so there was less traffic. And, a couple of those drives were like a lot of space where the big had to help up, and maybe they're too attached weak side to cover that down in the first half. There was a little more traffic, it felt like, when we were getting to the rim. Again, that's just kind of top of my head. I'd have to look to see if that's even right. But, I'm not exactly sure. But I thought our guys did a nice job of dropping it off. We hit a couple corner cuts on some drives. Coaching staff did a good job of recognizing that. Talking about halftime, like, hey, we had that a couple times, didn't hit it. Guys recognize, so staff does a great job of evaluating what's happening and trying to give guys suggestions and help to find what's available to them and read the coverages.
Nevada came in leading the Mountain West Conference in three-point field goal percentage. You guys hold them to 26% tonight. You talked a little bit about the defense that you guys had to play on camper. They set a lot of off-ball screens. Just how did you guys limit them to under their percentage tonight?
Well, I think the crowd probably helped. Might have got a little shooting luck. They missed some. But I also thought we did a nice job of contesting shots. We outside of the first one that Price shot, and I thought we were really flying to the ball. I can think about DA really kind of getting off the ground on a couple contests, Uriah, Javis running at guys, and just not quitting on plays, even if they're probably going to get it off, like just making an effort to contest and try to make it more difficult.
Coach, the standard and expectation around this program is going to become, you guys are going to compete in March. I know that's part of the reason why you took this job, but going back to Rick's earlier question, this is your first year. This is all your players' first year here. Do you ever have to take a moment to kind of step back and be like, 20 games in, 16 wins, undefeated at home, and really celebrate these moments as they happen?
No. We're excited to be in the position we're in, but I think you can appreciate where you are without I think we can appreciate where we are without taking a step back or relax. Like, I think that's something that we're very much conscious to not do. We don't want to be complacent. We don't want to be satisfied. We have a ton of basketball left. we haven't accomplished any of the things that we want to accomplish at this stage. So, I've probably said this before, but I think it's really important to understand that you're not as good as you feel when you win, and you're not as bad as you feel when you lose, and the reality is somewhere in the middle. We want to live in that reality so that we can continue to address areas that we can improve and keep getting better. And if we really focus on that part of it, then all the things that we want to accomplish are more likely to happen.
When you're looking at what you do want to accomplish and how that stuff is likely to happen, when you're looking at a game against a team that might be a little more competitive and at the top of the standings, I mean, do you kind of put a little more emphasis on that, like, hey, we really need to have this one, or maybe not as much as a team as, towards the bottom of the standings?
I mean, I think we try to prepare the guys for what they're going to face, right? And so we talk about each team and their players and their strengths and weaknesses. And so, the teams at the top of the standings probably have more strengths or more, disadvantages for us to mitigate, So there is some of that, and I think our guys, they're aware. They're not like, who's coming in here, So, like, I think it's a combination of things, but we really just try to prepare them for what they're going to see, and that is a little bit relative to opponents.
The two freshman guards, their shot making will get the headlines, but
not their free throws.
Having nine assists and only one turnover, can you talk of their playmaking in this game, in this environment?
Yeah, I thought they both did a good job. I think it's just part of their evolution. They're making their way up the scouting report as they continue to play well. They're getting more attention, opponents, primary defenders, more difficult matchups, and so more help when they drive. And so the evolution is to try to just make the right basketball play, which, as the defense pays more attention to you, is to pass it more. But that's an encouraging sign that they're evolving that way.
The two guards I want to ask about is Dayton and Uriah, who earlier this year, like those two guys playing together, were a really good combo. Hadn't been quite the same as much recently, but tonight those are the two guys that end up with plus-minus numbers, better than anybody on the team, and they shot 5 for 16. So it wasn't their shooting. What was it about this game and this matchup that the 2 point guards were able to bring the most success to the team?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it kind of played out that way. I mean, they're both good players and they help our team, but every night it's kind of a different person, and we don't really try to go into games predicting, oh, this will work or that'll work, like too much relative to lineups. We try not to be too dependent on like what's the other team doing and matching to them. There's exceptions to that, but they both played well. They had hard jobs in guarding on and off the ball, but they were good tonight.
And not paying too much attention to what the other team does. Nevada is top 10 in the country in free throws, point distribution. So I want to ask you about something they do. They were 5 or 6 free throw attempts below their season average, and I'm curious if that was something that just sort of played out, or if there was a different emphasis to defend without fouling. I know Fresno State, especially at the end, was a weird ending to the Fresno State game, but you guys fouled a lot. So I'm curious if there was any emphasis since that Fresno State game on the fouling.
No, we didn't really address that. We did address that they're really good at getting to the free throw line, and that's a big part of their offense. And so we want to do a good job of being vertical. I thought Tomislav had a couple good ones. JT had a couple great ones. Other guys as well. Luke. We got called for fouls on some of them, but I thought we did a pretty good job just understanding what they were doing and trying to. But for the most part, you just kind of try to be conscious of it, not foul, adjust to what's happening. Show our hands more, not get cheap ones off the ball, which is hard in this game because they do a lot of off-ball stuff, and those guys are chasing all night. But Uriah kind of grabbed him once there in the bonus, and we're kind of talking to him about trying to show your hands, and we're conscious of it, but we didn't change anything.
Last thing, it's retro night, throwback. They asked you about your attire there. There's a couple of coaches' recent history that made the cherry blazer famous, including one on the other sideline. Was there any talk of you wearing a cherry blazer tonight?
No talk of that.
We're going to start with Will.
Wow.
Let's let Twitter go here.
Tomislav, second half again. You look, first half you didn't do much, but the second half you came out a different person. What was it that changed?
I mean, sometimes you gotta be patient. Like the game is not gonna go in first couple of minutes. You gotta just play hard, and then like everything is gonna come to me. I feel like sometimes even when things are not going well, just like keep it up. Another play, just forget like short memory, and like you see at the end everything can come either way. So I wasn't concerned about it. I wanted just to win because I knew how much this win will bring us. So that's the only thing I can do. Play hard and wait for my opportunity.
Yeah, when you're rebound, look, if the points are happening, I notice you really go after the rebounds. Is that just a mentality you have of just getting really physical when you're not scoring?
I mean, yes, that's why I bring the team. I help with rebounding. Like the points, I'm not concerned about it. Like I said, sometimes you're going to have a great game, sometimes you won't. So the only thing that I can do is control the things that I can control, like being aggressive on the boards, and like that hurt the opponent team, and like be great for my team and my teammates.
Now, I'm sure you don't know a lot of the history, but their coach was here for a while, and his assistant coach was here for a while. Were you guys educated about the rivalry that exists between these two schools, especially with their coaches? I
mean, yes, of course, they told us about the history, but like I said, I wasn't only concerned about that. It's like, I mean, the game, just like another game, you know, it doesn't matter who the opponent is, you always go for the win. You want to play as a team and be great, either if it's ex-Lobo coach or it's just another coach, another team. So for me, it was the same mentality. Always go for the win, play as a team, and that's it.
Tomislav, you only had one shot attempt in the first half. They were sending that double at you multiple times. How did you kind of get through that in the second half?
I mean, they were aggressive. They were doubling me. I didn't have a lot of chances. When I wanted to penetrate, they were bringing a lot of bodies. They collapsed the paint pretty well. I mean, they did a good job, like getting me away from the paint of the rim. But I wasn't worried about that. I wanted just to do the things that keep my team up and in the lead. So for me, if I score 2 points or score 20 points, it doesn't change.
And in the second half, particularly down the stretch in the final 5 minutes, you got a couple easy dump-off passes and dunks at the rim. What changed? Where did the coach put you on the floor to put you in position to get those shots?
Our guards did a pretty good job in the last couple of minutes of going to the paint. We know that number one is a shot blocker. He goes for every shot block. So I think we were good, like in the patience, because he would come out of the paint to double, and then like I was open. They found me pretty well, so I'm happy about that because those plays are winning plays.
The 12 of 34 is what you guys were on twos, and you guys had a better shooting percentage from threes. And I'm curious if coming into this game, if you guys knew that they were going to give you the three, or if I know you knew it'd be hard to score at the rim because they protect the rim well, but did you know they'd leave the three as open as they did?
I mean, we were talking about the scout that they collapse the paint. They let a little bit more threes than in the paint because they think if we don't have either team, like if they have a bad shooting night, that's going to be hard, especially because like they collapse the paint pretty well, so you won't get like easy layups and easy buckets. Today we shot the ball pretty well from three, but I don't think that's just because of that we won the game, but it was great of my teammates. They were hitting shots, although sometimes you miss. I think we were open. That's why like sometimes when they double me, I think like I made good decisions, so we got open looks and we made the baskets. So that's what destroys the other team because they let in more 3-pointers than like layups. But like when you hitting shots, it's tough.
They're a team that top 10 in the country in free throw point distribution. They get most of their points at the free throw line. They average 26 free throws a game. They only had 21 today. So what was it that you guys were able to do? I know Wilder said that one of the emphases was you guys had to defend without fouling. How were you guys able to do that, hold them, beneath their average, I guess, in free throw attempts? I
mean, we always want to be aggressive, but not over-aggressive. I think like last game against Fresno, we were a little bit too over-aggressive last couple of minutes. But today I think we did a much better job. We learned from it how we need to play defense. I mean, the shots they made and the free throws, they were not easy buckets. So I'm happy that we delivered I would say a solid, a good defensive game.
I know Coach talks about it prior to this game, just about how important it was just in terms of the stand where they were, where you were. As this game's going on and you're able to wrap it up, I mean, does it how much does it resonate with the team? Like, hey, we knocked off a pretty important win when it comes to our standings in March.
I mean, everybody knows how hard it is to play in the pit, with the environment, with the great fans. I need to appreciate the love from the fans, because it's very difficult to play here. The altitude, with everything around, and the effort that we bring in. I think for each team to get a win against us is going to be really, really hard, and we appreciate it. But I think more it's going to be about the away games more than the home games, because I think we do so far pretty good job at home. We don't let anybody to come here and conquer our castle that easy. So I appreciate my team that we are doing so far a pretty good job of defending the pit.
On that note, I mean, obviously you guys resonate a lot with the fans. They give you energy, all that stuff. When you don't have that on the road, how are you guys able to take what's working well on the floor, basketball-wise, and translate that on the road?
I mean, we have also fans on the road. It's not like we don't have, but of course it's not the same like here. But away we cannot count on just on the fans. We need to count on especially our first halves. That's what I think that caused us the games that we lost. I think we do a pretty good job and learn from it, that we need to be not just be awake the second half. Also, the whole game is gonna count. Each mistake is precious, because other teams have also good fan bases. They play. It's hard to get wins, especially Utah State, GCU. I mean, every away game is hard, but some environments are really hostile. So we need to focus on the things that we can control, we can do to win those games, not to repeat the same mistakes. And I think if we do a pretty job, that we can win more away games.
Yeah, I would say that kind of similar to other games, just try and be in the right spot at the right time. Our guards do a great job of getting downhill and make those dump off passes available and easy, and then just crash the glass like I did for the one I got in the first half.
Still wasn't a sellout, but it was the biggest crowd of the year so far in the pit. Did it seem any different to you tonight? Did it seem like there was a little more energy?
Yeah, there was definitely really great energy in the building, so shout out to Lobo Nation for that. They make this place what it is, and really, really fun environment to be a part of.
With 2:29 left, Dayton does a step back three, and he was only 1 for 7 at that point. Hadn't been shooting very well, but does a step back three, and it wasn't really late in the clock. It wasn't like he was milking clock like he maybe should have at that point. But he knocked it down, and Steve Alford called the timeout right away, because he knew what the crowd was about to do. Did you guys feel in that timeout anything extra during that timeout when Alford was trying to slow things down?
I don't know if we felt anything extra, but obviously Dayton stepping up and making a huge shot right there was really impactful for the game. And really in the huddle, we're trying to focus on just playing the next play and just staying focused and not letting that affect us too much, and then we give up something easy or something like that. So just making sure we stay focused, but hats off to DA for making that shot. That was an incredible shot.
It seems like you're one of the guys on the team that really gets into the crowd more so than most other guys. I mean, really hyping them up, singing along music and just stuff like that. I mean, how much fun are you having right now and just being a part of this and having, your three be the one that really sparks that rally by the fans?
Yeah, it's really great to be in such an environment like this. I would say it's really easy to feed off of it as well. But then also, I like to be in, I guess, moments like that, where the crowd is super loud and just that's kind of what you grow up dreaming about, playing in front of a huge crowd like that. So just staying in the moment and trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
Speaking of those moments, how much do you feel like the team kind of recognizes those moments as they're happening and being able to celebrate them when you have a night like tonight?
I feel like we did a good job staying focused all the way through. I mean, we all feel it in those moments, and we're there to celebrate with each other. But kind of like I said earlier, when we have those big moments, it's important to stay focused so we can move on and have another big moment and not have kind of a letdown moment.
JT, Nevada started out on a 9-0 run in the second half. Coach Olen calls a timeout around the 17:42 mark. What was his message to you guys in that timeout?
We just got to pick it back up at that point. We haven't let too many teams come in here and do that to us this year. But I would say just keep our focus and make sure we're talking on the defensive end was the main message there.
Nevada's Elijah Price is a load, man. He had 16 points, 11 rebounds. What was it like battling with him?
Yeah, he's a great player, really physical. Yeah, a lot of respect to him, and looking forward to playing against him again.
When Elijah Price came down to the floor, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he was giving a thumbs down to the student section, which kind of riled them up a little bit. But I'm curious, what was he like on the floor? Because he had 3 fouls at about the 8-minute mark of the first half. Was his energy almost getting the best of him at that point?
I'm not really sure. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, so I don't really have too much to speak to on that.
Okay, and then with you, it seems like you and Luke have really evolved your games probably more than anyone else. Like you only played 8.5 minutes tonight, but you scored 11 points. When you're on the floor, you're looking to produce. Have you changed your mindset from day one until right now?
I would say maybe a little bit of a mindset change, but really just trying to stay consistent and make the most of the minutes that I do get. Being effective in those minutes, I mean, obviously I always want to play more, I guess, but yeah, just being efficient in my minutes and doing what our team needs.
Eric Olen got his first technical the other night, but I hadn't seen him that animated until you had that turnover in the first half. He really got on you. What was the message there? Because it seemed like you were a different player after that point.
Yeah, it was just kind of a silly turnover on my part, so just kind of typical message like take care of the ball, stuff like that. So nothing really too crazy, but.